Hi, it's Susan Short with FBTV, and have we got an exciting show for you today? We have none other than David Caserta. Did I pronounce it right?
You have that correct, yes.
Awesome. With
Yep.
Haunted Illusions. He's actually backstage, it looks like, somewhere else. So
Yeah,
he's
this is
been
actually, I don't tell people this, but this is a secret rehearsal space. This is my warehouse where we create new illusions and work on the show. And we're actually rehearsing right now and getting ready to go to North Carolina before we head down to see you.
awesome. So I am so excited to see your show. I want to get into some of your journey on how you became so well known as one of the biggest magicians there
Mhm.
is right now. That's a very niche. I mean, we hear about some of the, bigger ones that have toured. How long have you been into magic and what got you interested in magic?
Yeah, my whole life I've been into it since I was around 5. I got the kits from my parents, like a lot of children get the magic kits. So I got the magic kits, and then I just never weaned off. A lot of people get the magic kits, see that there's some little secrets in there, but they don't really see. Obviously, you can't put the big secrets in the magic kit, so they lose interest. They think, okay, I'm gonna learn how to cut somebody in half or something cool, and show my friends that. But then they realize that those secrets aren't involved in the little kits that they get, so they just wean off it. But for me, I was just really passionate and really wanted to keep learning. So when I was around 10, then I called every magician in the phone book in my area just to see how they could learn, where they learned first of all, and would they teach me? Because obviously magicians don't share secrets. So how do you learn? So I asked them what their best advice was, and there's actually a magic shop in Allentown, Pennsylvania, near where my house was, that gave private lessons. So I took the
Wow.
private lessons there for a few years, and then actually booked my very first show. It was at my elementary school that I was at, and they needed some entertainment for their Christmas show. And so my very first show was in front of 600 people in an auditorium with all the students there that I went to school with, as well as the parents, and really a good way to break in. But from there, I
Fun.
just kept pounding. I went to college for theater, so I learned all the aspects of not just magic, but of course theater. So I learned the lighting, the sound design, the video production, and I thought if I could learn all those aspects and create and combine them to the magic, then I can actually have control over the whole show. Unlike other magicians, where a lot of them just hire other people to be experts in that field to create the lights and sound and different things. But I really wanted to, have a whole hands-on approach to it. And then it was actually roughly about 15, 20 years ago. I thought it'd be really neat to tie magic and Halloween together since they do go hand in hand with Houdini. Houdini actually died on Halloween itself.
Did
Um,
he?
yeah, and that was actually it's going to be 100 years, not tomorrow, 100 years next year. Next Halloween will be 100 years
Wow.
since he died in 1926. So in 2026 will be his 100th year. So it was interesting. He actually was really into Halloween and the spiritual mediums and things like that. He actually wanted to believe that someone could communicate with the dead, but he found out that they couldn't do that. So towards the end of his career, he actually went and debunked them. He actually went to the seances and actually revealed to the public that they were being duped and that there's no real
Wow.
thing. Yeah, to create that illusion that he was a magician. He found out that they couldn't really do that. So the
Well,
interesting
that was
thing
in
then,
that was
yeah,
in the 1920s, so maybe
mhm,
we've we
right,
can
yeah,
ask
exactly.
the orb of AI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's it's things have changed since then, but his whole tie-in with Halloween is great, and it's actually really neat. I actually have his original stagehands help me in the show, and
Really?
I have these skeletons that are in the show, and I call them his original stagehands. So
It's like, wow, that's an elderly
yeah,
person.
exactly, right. Yeah, 100 some years. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so they're in the show, and that's one of the jokes is that they're original stagehands from the show.
Uh-huh.
So we have them in the show, and but yeah, about 20 years ago, I thought it'd be cool to combine the Halloween aspect with the magic aspect, and then we just started touring that, and I thought it'd be great because there's a little niche that other performers, other magicians, especially aren't doing that. They just have a magic show that they tour around. So
Right.
so yeah, so I have Halloween theme in the show, and the thing I wanted to do too is I always enjoy that families could come out and see a show and enjoy it together. So
Right,
the
and
show is
it's not
not,
too crazy. It's
yeah.
not, I mean, I'm sure it's crazy exciting and
Mhm.
interesting, but it's not like some younger children are afraid of, like, Halloween Horror Nights. It's not like you have monsters chasing them
Right.
down the aisles or anything.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing gory, nothing bloody type thing like that, because I wanted to keep it family friendly.
Yeah,
Yet it's great that there's a lot of kid shows out there that the parents would bring their kids to, but then
uh-huh,
they're like, oh, geez, we have to go see this show tonight, and they go
right.
there, and for the children and vice versa. So this show is great. You could bring the kids to it, and it's very entertaining for the parents as well as the kids. And like I said, it's we usually say age 3 or 4 and above, just so that it's not too young in that their attention span, but yet like I said, it's not too gory for the children as well.
So do you encourage people, I mean, we're really, doing a deep dive into this particular show. So do you encourage people
Mhm.
to dress in costumes by
Yes,
any
oh, definitely. Yeah, you have to get your money's worth right out of your costumes. Exactly.
chance?
I know back in the day, you'd buy the Halloween costume, you put the kid in it, they go out there, and
And
then,
then get rid of it.
yeah, you
Yeah,
put it away, and there goes your 30, 40 bucks or more, right? Well,
right.
nowadays, even more than that. But yeah, so certainly, some theaters actually do costume contests. I'm not sure
Okay.
if they're doing that at this venue or not. You could,
Uh-huh.
check with them. They possibly will be. And so you can, yeah, but they're certainly encouraged to wear them. And I bring a lot of audience participation up on stage. So a lot of the children come up and as well as the adults. And
Okay.
so, yeah, so if they're dressed up, it's you might even have more of an option, more opportunity, I should say, to come
I'll
up on
keep that in
stage.
mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe I'll get my
Mhm.
witch's hat out
Yeah,
or something
certainly.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you might as
Well,
well. And yeah, you'll fit right in. So,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So, do you only do the Halloween magic show or do you tour doing other themed shows or
Yes,
more
I have
niche?
that show, and then I have my own show without the Halloween theme as well that we
Okay.
tour throughout the season. We do mostly corporate events with that,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and but the main thing I do focus on is the Halloween show, because that's we really I've spent so much time trying to get that show perfected through the years, and a lot of theaters bring the show back year after year, so it challenges me to create new illusions for the show, and I have one in the show now that. We worked on for about 2 years now, and I tried to put it in
Uh-huh.
last year, but it just wasn't ready. So I worked on that all year, and then we finally just got that finished up. And I programmed all the lights for it and stuff, so everything's all set. So that'll be a new thing in the show this year, because we do have some other
Oh,
dates in Florida this year that we have the same. We were out there last year, but yeah, so we have a new one for that. And there's plenty of illusions in the show that people have never seen before. So I really pride myself on creating illusions, and that the magicians don't do. So if you've seen a magic show before, there's stuff in
uh-huh.
the show that others aren't doing and others aren't touring with. And there's even an illusion. There's a bit of spikes, like I believe, I don't know if you could see, but over here we have some
I
spikes.
see
There's
that.
18
Yeah.
spikes, and that's one
Uh-huh.
of the cool ones. I actually invite an audience member up on stage.
Uh-huh.
So that way you don't just sit there and think, oh, maybe the assistant's in on it. And of course, she knows how the tricks are done and she's just moving her body a certain way. But this
Uh-huh.
one's neat. Actually bring an audience member up on stage, and they lay
Uh-huh.
down on top of the spikes, and then I attempt to push all the spikes right through their back as
Ooh.
they hit the stage. So that's a cool audience member one. And
Yeah.
so we have things like that, and then there's actually a new one too. I put in the show where I bring a child up on stage, and then I make them vanish live on stage, and then I attempt to bring them
Oh,
back afterwards. So let's see if they
awesome.
go, yeah, come back as well.
That's awesome. So who is your inspiration? I mean, I know you've been on a lot of the shows,
Mhm.
but who's your inspiration? Who's your favorite, magician other than
Yeah.
Houdini, of course? Yeah.
Yeah, I love the old a lot of magicians that people haven't really heard of. There's so
Uh-huh.
many old classic magicians back in the 20s that I read all the history books of them, and
Uh-huh.
it's so fascinating because back then, obviously, you didn't have technology today. To
Right.
transport the show, it was much different. You couldn't just put it in a truck like we have now and drive it around. They had old
Right.
railroad cars back then, or put them on a ship, and just the way they market the show back then, they didn't have the printing like we did today, and all that is so fascinating to me. So I get inspirations from them, as well
Uh-huh.
as yeah. There's been several through the years. There's been Doug Henning, which was popular back in the 70s and 80s on TV, and David Copperfield, and all of them that
Yeah.
really I grew up watching, and I enjoyed how they actually took magic and made it more theatrical. So I take some inspiration from that. And yeah, now I just branch out and do my own thing and just really try to, like I said, create some illusions that people aren't doing nowadays. And there's one in the show that I actually have audience members examine a large piece of metal, a big
Uh-huh.
piece of steel. It's like an
Uh-huh.
8 foot big piece of metal, and they examine it so they make sure it's solid. And then I attempt to walk right through the center of it. And it's
Oh,
really cool because I got that inspiration actually from Houdini. And
uh,
back in the day, he actually walked through a brick wall. And
wow.
so I thought that'd be an interesting to do, but a little different take, and I'll modernize it. So yeah, that's why we use a piece of steel, and actually, if people examine that on stage.
So I have like a few other questions.
Mhm.
What do you think the future of magic is? I mean, it's kind of like tied into the idea of circus arts,
Mhm.
and performance arts, performing arts. But what do you think the future is? Do you see it as what you're doing? Do you see it as like kids getting involved in it? I mean, is there magic TikTok?
Yeah, yeah. The online magic is certainly really popular, and of course, yeah, there's a lot of TikTok and
Uh-huh.
videos going out there, and there's some videos of not magicians, but people trying to explain how tricks are done just to get
Uh-huh.
views online,
Right.
and not a big fan of that stuff, but because
Nobody is.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the secret isn't it's sort of said that we hide magicians hide like an empty safe, and that
Uh-huh.
people think there's these mysterious secrets, and as soon as they learn the secret, then they won't be as mystified. But to be
Uh-huh.
honest with you, years ago there was a magician on TV that was trying to reveal some of our secrets, and they found out that even though they could come up with different ways to do it, that there's so many different techniques and methods to do the tricks that they could still come see me. Like he actually revealed how someone floats in the air, but yet you could still see my show, and then on that poster there of my assistant
Uh-huh.
floating, and still you'll be amazed that the technology that they tried to share is not what we use in the show. So
Right.
yeah, but the future, I mean, I actually think it's sort of like what I'm doing now. It's theming a show and having more purpose to it instead of just going to see a magic show that is just a magician out there just doing one trick after another. And yeah, you're entertained, but there's no real theatricality to it. And but I love taking I work so hard to get the right kind of soundtrack for the show and the right kind of music, and that's why like this new illusion wasn't ready last year. Is that I just didn't have the perfect music for it yet. And
Yeah.
so I didn't just want to put it in there. And but yeah, so but so much things take so long to put in the show. Like I mentioned, some things take over 2 years. There's one where I actually cut myself in half, and that
Wow.
we did on network TV, and they brought me over to Colombia, the country in South America, and we
Uh-huh.
shipped it over there, and we did a TV special over there, and that was one of the featured illusions, and that one's really neat because for years, magicians have put their assistants in boxes and then they cut the
Uh-huh.
box in half.
Right.
So I thought it'd be really cool to do it without any boxes. So I actually do it visibly on stage, and you see my body there, and I cut myself, and you look right through my body and everything, and see that.
Wow.
And, yeah, so it's stuff like that. But that took several years to develop and create and put in the show, and to where it's at now. So yeah, it's just like I said, it's a great family friendly show, as well as if you want to come out and have a good time. Like I said, there's so many lights. I just put a lot of cool special effects in the show. And yeah, it's like an hour and a half of just nonstop, entertainment.
So the show is on October. What is the date of it? It's October 23rd, I believe.
Yes, that sounds about right. I know it's
It's Sunday, October 26th,
26.
7
There you go. Yeah.
p.m.
Yep. Yes, 26.
Great. So, where can people find more information about your tour in Florida if they're not
Mhm.
here in Sarasota?
Yes, it's hauntedillusionshow.com.
Okay.
That's the name of the tour and the website and everything. So it's Haunted Illusions with an S at the end and then show. So there's two S's, Illusions Show. So Haunted Illusions Show, you can also Google that as well, and it'll take you there. And there's yeah, all the show information there. There's pictures, there's video of the show, so you can get a feel for what it's like. And yeah, like I said, we're looking forward to be down in Florida. That's actually become a sort of the hot spot for the show through the years. We have, I think, five or six dates down there this year, right after
Okay.
another, and then right after Sarasota, we drive up to Ohio. That's our next stop after that. But yeah, we're really looking to being performing down at Sarasota because that theater is so beautiful. All
It
the
is.
yeah, I just talked to the tech department there and found out that we can, fit the whole show in there, which is great because some theaters are a little too small and we have to cut
Uh-huh.
some things. But there, yeah, the full show will be there, and it's just going to be a beautiful venue to see the show in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what would be on your wish list for the
Mhm.
future? A Vegas residency, perhaps?
Yeah,
Maybe.
back in the day it was that actually, but Vegas is really saturated now. There's probably about 20 or 30 magic shows. There's some
Is
headliners,
there?
and then there's yeah, there's smaller venues that do like a
Uh-huh.
dinner theater type show, and yeah, and as well as you're competing against all the other shows that are out there.
Yeah,
So
shows.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really a tough market. But to be honest, I enjoy the touring show the
Uh-huh.
most. And back in the day, there's a spot in my career where I could either focus on the smaller close-up magic that I enjoy performing, like the sleight of hand, the card tricks, and I
Uh-huh.
can fit everything in a little briefcase. Or
Ah,
I can change and go the other route, which is to create the big illusions, and obviously have all the cases and
uh-huh.
the storage, the trucks, the assistants, the crew, and
Uh-huh.
everything else that goes with it. So you have two different avenues to take. And to me, I went with obviously the harder route of the bigger illusion show. But to me,
Uh-huh.
hearing the audience's reply and response to what I spend so many hours working on, and that's just priceless. So I enjoy that and getting the live feedback of the show. And then usually afterwards, if I have time, we do a little meet and greet in the lobby by our merch area. And I love talking to the people, getting the direct feedback of the show, and just getting to hear people and meeting people from all over the place. And to me, that's the part that's priceless and stuff that I always want to do. So yeah, to me, the live aspect and the touring is a little better than just a sit down residency because it is really challenging, and each theater is different. We the technical aspects are different, and it's great to load in the show all day, work on technical aspects, and then do it in front of the audience. And then next thing you're doing, traveling, getting next city, and doing that challenge all over again. And it's great. You're on stage there, and you're thinking, "Geez, just last night, less than 24 hours ago, we were in
Yeah.
a different city, with this big
Yeah.
production, and put it on there, and and still made it happen." So it's rewarding, doing the touring part.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to your show, October 26th. There's still a few tickets left,
Yep.
7 p.m. at the Van Wezel. And I love the fact that you're going to do a little meet and greet afterwards.
Yep.
I'll definitely be there. So, this
Great.
is Susan Short, FBTV, with David Caserta. Haunted Illusions. Make sure to wear your costume and maybe you'll get up on stage. And
That's
we'll
right.
see you guys next time.
Yeah.